This is me before trying to run a massive half marathon personal best. Wish me luck. And this is me after running a huge half marathon personal best.
Whoa, 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 hang on, not so fast. That would be a short video, right? Let's rewind a little. I've been taking on what's turned out to be my hardest training block since my time competing as a professional athlete. We've been documenting my training on the running channel as I aim to take on a long-time goal of mine, a sub 75-minute half marathon. Today's the day that I'll find out if all of the hard training pays off. I've spent the last couple of weeks tapering, which has included a family holiday, not perhaps completely ideal, but eating plenty and around my last shakeout run to set myself up to be in optimum condition for race day. Puma are sponsoring this video and my series, and they've kitted me out in their finest race kit, a pair of their fastest shoes, the Fast R Nitro Elite 3s. Now it's just a matter of finding out whether all that preparation has set me up to run sub 75.
Sat having breakfast with a legend of the running channel. This is Mr. Frederick Shires, Freddie from Valencia fame.
Hello.
Welcome back, Freddie.
Been brought in. The big guns have been brought in.
He's been brought back in to help with filming today because I'm too much of a diva to hold a GoPro myself for this piss. I got a text from Andy this morning. This is my pep talk. Beautiful day for it. Don't in the first 5k. I don't even know whether that can go in the edit.
Probably not.
I was saying there's that eerie kind of silence as you're surrounded by all these other runners walking to the start. Everyone's sort of got that nervous anticipation. I definitely have. I've had this 75-minute target foisted upon me by the production team. So now that it's imminently upon us, my confidence isn't great. But at various points in the last couple of weeks, I've felt fantastic about it. But now it's got really close. It's much more worrying.
And have you got your race day shoes on right now, or what are you sporting at the moment?
No, I'm in my warm-up shoes. I'm in the Velocity 4 from Puma. I'll be putting the Fast R3 on to get stuck into the race. Freddie's carrying his. So yeah, I like to warm up in a different pair of shoes and then get stuck in for the race. I feel kind of lightheaded, fatigued, all of the stuff that I normally feel before a race, but I forget because it's so long between doing them. There was a real buzz on the start line. It was pretty cool walking, quite a long walk to the start from the event village, which was good for me, I think. I just wanted to get going at that point. I wanted to stop being in my head thinking about it and get going.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, race start, Andy. Easing into it. Yeah. Try not to get too crazy to make up for that slow start. Even until starting and pressing start on my watch, that's just the biggest thing I was nervous about was the pace and what it was going to feel like. But heading off into that first kilometre, looking down at my watch, knowing we were perfect, I wanted to go a little bit slower than the planned finishing time pace at the start, and I was on the money, feeling really good and way easier than it felt in training, which is the point.
Fantastic, well done. Morning.
After maybe 1 or 2k, Freddie turned to me and just said, "It's really hot, Andy." And I was trying to shut that down. I was like, no negative self-talk, no negative chat. It was really hot, but nothing we could do about that. Yeah, it was amazing how quickly we went out from the town in Newark through suburbia and then really quickly out into genuinely beautiful countryside. Lots of people on the course giving me a shout out, supporting me and the running channel, so a huge thank you to them. That was a big lift. I was feeling great, except for the fact that there was an unanticipated hill. Certainly in the first 7 miles, there were more hills than I was expecting.
Right, we are told that this is the only significant hill. So hoping after we've conquered this, it's flat all the way. But so far it's been a little bit undulating.
Around about 7 miles, we just hit a headwind and it was so spread out, there was no one that I could tuck in behind. I was setting the pace, Freddie's doing the filming, so unreasonable for me to maybe ask him to take the wind. It was just straight into this brutal headwind at the point at which you're thinking, wow, I'm just about halfway here and it's starting to get really tough. So as I'm digging deep, going down through my gears, trying to get faster because I know I've got time to make up deliberately from the conservative pace that I had in the first 5k, that's the point at which we hit a pretty brutal headwind actually. And through that middle 10k from 5 to 15k, I was running faster than the 3:35 that I needed to be able to run. So I had people whose vest I was fixated on in the front of me. I was picking them off, working my way, not sort of sprinting and closing past those people, but they might be 100 meters ahead, and then I might close down them over the course of the next 2k. And I did run past a guy in the first 10k, and as I passed him he said, "Still crushing people's spirits, Andy," which genuinely made me laugh in the middle. I'm from an era where my body was constantly beaten up from the miles and the training, and I sound like an old person when I talk about the new generation of shoes, but probably without the shoes I think I might have fallen apart a little bit earlier.
My running style is quite economical. I've been referred to as the hovercraft, but testing's shown that these shoes can generate up to 3.15% improvement in a runner's overall economy, which could translate to minutes off a half marathon. They're incredibly light and responsive, so you can imagine how excited I was to put these through their paces in training and then put them to the test today on race day.
Right, mile 9 there. Markers are a little bit off with the GPS, but if we go by the Puma, we're about 52:30. A little bit of a speedster at the end, but just about on track. The shoes feel like they're making a real difference. I wore the old edition of these and these feel so much lighter and just a lot more energy retention.
5 or 6k to go. I saw you guys, that gave me a bit of a lift, but I was really starting to hurt at this point. To my best math, this was incredibly close. I knew that if I could lift in the way that I planned and the way that I'd done in training, I was going to be really close to that 75-minute mark, which was ultimately my target. So the plan here was just to squeeze as much as I can, down to 3:30 per kilometre, dip under 3:30 per kilometre if I could, and then just try and hold it together towards the end. But when I got into that last 2 miles, 3 kilometres, I went round one relatively sharp corner and took a drink to try and pour it over my head, and just felt a cramp in my calf. And then at that point, my calf, both calves, both legs, just started to really fatigue. So it went from feeling great and ready to squeeze to then, oh my goodness, I can't even hold this together. I had not been passed by a single person. I'd been passing people throughout the entire race. And then I could hear 2 people who I'd passed in the last 5k probably bearing down on me as I came into the last bit.
Come on, less than 6 minutes to go. That's all we've got. You can break after the finish line. Hold yourself together for a little bit longer.
I love Freddie, massive shout out. He helped me run my first marathon in Valencia. This is my first real attempt at running a fast half marathon. He makes it look embarrassingly easy. He's there filming me the whole way. He did a few pieces where he's chatting to the camera as well, giving an update because I just couldn't. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without him. So if anyone out there's got a running friend that gets them out of bed in the morning, that gets them to go and do the tough miles, or just gets them there on race day, for me, that's Freddie. Thank you. And I hadn't looked at my watch for a little while, so I didn't know how close I was going to be. And it was just get to the line, stop the watch, try and stand up, try and walk through the finish funnel, try not to collapse.
Strong finish here. Strong finish at position, well done. Congratulations, well done, everyone.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
That was so hard. Oh, feeling a little bit emotional because I was on and actually slightly better than target on my watch, but I knew we were slightly behind on the mile markers, which is disconcerting. And then the plan was always to just squeeze whatever I had that last 3 miles. And I looked at my watch and it was still like technically doable, but I'd have had to run like 2 5:30 miles, which was going to be going some.
Yeah.
And then at like 2.5 miles to go, just started cramping kind of relentlessly in both, well, one calf and one shin. I know I'd been running my absolute max for 65 minutes at that point, and my body was just like, no, we're not quite there. Oh man, it's so frustrating. That was everything though. I said to Sarah after her 5k, your best on the day is always enough. And I'm in that frustrated zone right now, but I was at my absolute red line for probably the last 25 minutes. What's next? Well, it's 16 weeks until marathon day. So Valencia Marathon is the plan. I'm not gonna lie, in the last 2 miles of that half marathon, I was just thinking, I don't want to do this. This is what's the point in running? I hate running, I don't want to be here. So the idea of doing twice as far and not that much slower is terrifying. So watch this space. So to wrap up, we're here filming these things. I've put my training and these races on YouTube for you guys to see it, and that's terrifying. It adds extra pressure to me, but I'm always overwhelmed by the positivity from you in the comments on my training video, and hopefully on this video too, and the amazing positivity and support that I receive from the lovely Running Channel club members. I've got my own dedicated space in the club where I post much more detailed updates about training and my kind of mentality, psychology, all of the nerves and stuff that I'm dealing with. So thank you to you all for being amazing, and a huge thank you to Puma as well for sponsoring me, kitting me out, sponsoring this whole series. I'm incredibly grateful. So please also show the same positivity you've shown to me to Tom, who's taking on his own half marathon challenge. You can check out how he's getting on in his latest training video by clicking here.